clinicians who are out there doing all the work. There's no fluff, there's no filter, and there's definitely no sales pitches that try to come across as education. If it's happening in dentistry, from clinical insights to regulatory curveballs, or maybe it's the latest scandal at the ADA, we are probably already talking about it. And yes, we are bringing the goods. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned doc, anyone in the dental industry for that matter. Maybe you're a curious consumer, or maybe you're just here for the banter. We welcome you all to the show because around here, we're not just in the loop, we are in the know. Hey there, everyone. I'm Dr. Jeff Horowitz. I'm with two of my best friends in the world, two great clinicians, two great educators, two great business owners, and two people that I am just happy to call friends. And I'm talking about Dr. Chad Duplantis and Dr. Jennifer Bell. We created this humble little platform to make the dental world just a little smaller, but a whole lot more fun. Today, we have a great topic, and the show is sponsored by one of our great educational partners, Mango Voice. We're going to be talking about a lot of great ways to integrate this technology into your practice, but also some of the incredible offerings that are coming down the pike with Mango Voice. And I've had a chance to talk to Richard about this, so it's pretty darn exciting, and I think it's something that every dental practice can use. So it's going to be a great show. I'm excited to see you both. How's it going, guys? Nothing.
Good.
You go first, Chad?
No, you go.
I come on with all that excitement and nothing.
I tell you, what a barn burner we've got here tonight, guys.
Yeah.
No, I think it's okay. I thought last week the crazy train dropped off all of its people in front of my office and they just camped there for the week, and I just kept seeing them over and over and over and over. But I've had a little bit of a reprieve for 2 days, so I feel like I won the lottery. Just, really feel blessed that those patients are still on vacation or something. They're still at Memorial Day celebration, wherever they are. So, yeah. But I mean, I know it's short-lived. I know.
Well, this is usually the time of year, again, it's almost like the mini September, because right when the kids get out of school, everything just kind of slows down, and, kind of getting ready for big July.
We call this May, for those of us who still have kids in school, we call it Maycember, because it's teacher appreciations. Evie has 3 dance recitals this weekend. We've got the 8th grade dance. We've got graduations. There's just a ton of all the gifts, so many gifts for all the people. So lots of responsibilities in May that you don't have to manage as a parent 90% of the time, but it all seems to come in May at one time. So
yeah. Chatty, how you doing?
Fantastic, man. It's wonderful. It's I'm burnout. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep,
I'm feeling the burnout.
Can I offer you a cup of cyanide or
do what?
Do you want to put it out there? Because I bet you're not the only one.
No, I mean it just comes in waves. It's just one of those weeks where, like one of my favorite patients came in this afternoon, and he's in his late 80s, and his mouth is just really deteriorating, and there's only so you just feel dejected, because it's like, no matter what you do, it's like, and this guy really just wants his teeth, and so that kind of stuff really just hits me, when you're trying as hard as you can, and you're trying to, you can't, the moral of the story is no matter what, you can't please everybody, and you can't eradicate the world of dental decay no matter how hard we try, and so it's kind of been a trying week. I still love what I do, but I'm feeling the burnout a little bit this week. Maybe it was the 4-day weekend. I don't know, but it was it's a little burnout.
Did you play golf or something?
Yeah.
Did what?
Did you play golf or something?
I played a lot of golf this weekend, but that's
maybe your game was terrible?
No, it's actually really good.
Well, okay.
Really good. It's just been kind of a tough week. You know, it's
Do
been
you feel bad
clinical.
for him, JB? He played a lot of golf and he's playing great.
Yeah.
And
No, but it was
one of his patients has
clinically
cavities.
a tough week. It's just been one of those weeks where, you know, like we've talked about this before. One of those weeks where you're not feeling like anything's really gelling. It's just not. You'll have a week where everything's just perfect. You have some weeks where everything's 50-50. This week it just feels like everything's just kind of bleh.
So you mean
Yeah.
50 weeks of my year?
Yeah.
At least the last 2 years, it seems like.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
No,
But it will get better. Next week I'll be pumped.
I know
guarantee
you
I'll
will.
be pumped.
Yeah.
What-
Something good will happen. And
One of my favorite John Coyce sayings is teeth aren't for everyone. And it's sad, right? Because you
Yeah.
want everybody to appreciate them, but you know, there's someone very close in my family that I worked very hard on their dentition, and you know, it's got to be reciprocated on the other side, and there has to be that want and the work put in on that side, and we can't assume responsibility for everyone else. And only took me 59 and a half years to really fully appreciate that, but
yeah.
I'm there now.
Wait, are you saying we have a big one coming up in July?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
you just let the cat out of the bag.
I did
'cause
let the
actually
cat out
it's
of the bag.
59 and like 7/8 almost.
Oh, yeah.
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 How
Mhm.
can we top the cameo that we did for him from
I-
Meatloaf?
And do you realize that so for those of you who don't know, these guys gave me like the ultimate birthday present. So I mean, Meatloaf came on and did like this whole long dissertation to me. And I mean, how shortly
Is
after
he
that
still
did he
alive?
pass
He's dead,
away?
right?
No, he died right after that.
No,
Like,
he
That's
literally,
because
like-
the dissertation was so long. He was so tired. He
That's
was
right.
like,
He literally aged a year during that whole cameo thing. But it was so cool. It was one of the coolest birthday gifts I've ever gotten. And it was so heartfelt and it was so real. And then the guy goes and drops dead like right
Yeah.
after.
He died of COVID.
Yeah. Nuts.
Yeah.
are you going to get a meatloaf and mashed potato cake?
So yeah, that year I also got a meat cake.
Yeah, that was a big year.
That was a big birthday.
How are we going to top that? And
Yeah.
I tried to get Sammy Hagar because it was I Can't Drive 55. But
I
Meatloaf
love the
was
Red
available.
Rocker, man.
yeah, maybe someone from Rush is available for 60.
No, I tried to get Geddy Lee too. I couldn't do it.
Literally, I will suck the toes of anybody who gets Geddy Lee to come and spend some time with me. Or,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Don't go there
if we were to secure
Don't
that,
even
could we
go
just
there,
ask that
Jeff.
you don't suck our
because you
toes?
know where I'm headed.
I don't know. I think I'm a pretty good toe sucker. I'm just saying.
You
said
can suck
toes.
his toes then.
Yeah, you know where I'm
That's
headed.
what my dog says anyway.
Yeah, fair. Where are you headed? You gonna go get him a cruise or something?
Who, me?
No, Jeff.
Oh, we can't go there. No.
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 Okay.
It's better
All right.
best just leave that
Never
alone.
mind. We're not talking about your toes.
Nope.
Oh, no. Yeah, yeah, Chad, come on now.
Come on.
Oh man. Well, guys, I've actually had a reasonable week, which right now I will take.
Actually.
Yeah, I'm taking all those. Just a lot going on. 2 practices and still not quite finished out with the building as far as final work and repairs and questions about monies owed and all that stuff. So
Do you think there'll ever be a day where we have a podcast and we don't talk about your building?
no, but everyone's going to get to see this cool building.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
That's how we should sell the meeting. It shouldn't be about the education at all.
Yeah. But
You should just be selling tours of the infamous building.
Right. And everyone can see that I am really wearing newspapers now for my clothing because of
Correct.
that building.
Correct.
Like I
Yeah.
am donning the Ori Independent as my daily clothing now.
There
I
you
have
go.
Ori Independent
Yeah.
scrubs.
But
Okay.
they look good on you. They look good on you. And in
The
Dirty
fine print
Myrtle,
is
it's
so
fine.
slimming.
It's the
All
small
right.
print.
This is going off the rails. I think we should do some news, JB, because
I will do
Let's
some
do some
news.
news.
yeah,
Hey
I'm
guys,
excited to have Rich on.
did you see that not everyone loved my AAO and GP story last
I
week?
did.
If it makes you uncomfortable, there must be some hidden truth in there. Okay, carry on.
That's right.
All right,
Hitting home.
guys. So it's time for the news. Ben, come on. Thank you. All right, just a few news stories. And actually, it's funny. The one news story that I think is going to be the one for tonight actually started showing up on my feed from other sources, non dental sources. So when I saw it, I thought, oh, that's really interesting that that's now popping up on non dental sources, trying to sleuth out, again, fraud, waste, whatever. So let's go ahead and dive into the most controversial story of the week. And that is Delta Dental of California. Yay! They are a tax exempt nonprofit whose CEO has now been paid over $48 million over the last 4 years. Her compensation also increased from 4.5 million to 15 million in just a few years. Now, quick poll for all of the dental patients who are represented by Delta Dental who might watch this podcast. How much did your premium go up over the last 4 years? Mm-hmm. And then another quick poll of our Delta Dental of California patients. How much of your benefit increased? Did you go from 1,500 to 2,000? Did you go from 1,500 to 1,500 in allowable benefit for the year? Would love to know that. Please put that in the comment section as well. And then for our Delta Dental providers, how much did your reimbursement rates go up over the last 4 years? If I had to venture a guess, I'm going to guess none. I'm going to venture a guess that it went down by 1%. Why? Because Delta Dental of California has a monopoly. They represent over 90 to 98% of the dental patients in California. We see that across the West Coast, actually. It's the same in Oregon and Washington as well. So while their CEO is making hay, our patients are suffering, our providers are suffering, and poor people like Chad are burned out on dentistry. It's time for a correction. And the fact that I know this is because this news story showed up in a non dental area. That means that people are fed up with bloated hierarchy in these systems, especially in healthcare, while the patients and the providers are suffering and leaving the industry altogether. Let's get this together, team. Delta Dental of California in particular, you've been put on notice. The other story for the week is a personal indulgence. As a resident of North Carolina and a licensed dentist of North Carolina, this story is very important to me. We have a very important bill coming forward for our legislature to start to consider. It is HB 1033, the Dental Board Reform Bill. Now, this bill is trying to change the infrastructure of our dental board. Currently, North Carolina's dental board is made up of 6 dentists, 1 hygienist, and then they have the admin support team. That board is overseeing its peers and providing public safety to those who are seeking care in the state. And having had my own experiences with the board in the past, I can tell you for sure the dentists that are serving on that board are as interested in saving and protecting patients and public health safety as they are in protecting dentists. In fact, I would make a small argument that they care more about public safety than they do about the dentist. So the argument that a board of peers would be biased and would never side against a dentist, I think actually is very misguided. This bill seeks to put non dental people on the licensing board. Wasn't that swell? Because we've seen time and time again that politicians always have the best interests of their constituents, the patients, and the providers at heart, right? Nothing political ever happens. No backdoor deals are being done. Everything is above board, right? Except this is healthcare and this is real. And real decisions are being made about protecting patients and keeping them safe, and real people's livelihoods are at stake. This cannot be a political game for someone to now be able to put somebody that they promised a favor to 15 years ago into a political position to now serve on the dental board. We can't be an axe to grind and we can't be a favor to be owed. North Carolina dentists, it is really important that you step up and speak out. HB 1033, you need to contact your representatives. You need to talk to your legislators. You need to get involved with the Dental Society and let your feelings be heard. Let people know. For those of you who live in states where your board is made up of non dentists, feel free to provide in the comments your experiences. Maybe I'm misguided. Maybe I'm fear mongering and that there's nothing to be worried about. But I guess over the last, I don't know, 30, 40 years, the distrust in the political system has elevated just a bit. And I would much rather be judged by a jury of my peers than by a jury of the masses. And with that, that's the news.
I love how saucy it's getting.
Mm.
I do. I mean, honestly, this is what we set out to do when we created Dinks. It's like, let's bring good, honest information to the public. There's some, yes, we have educational partners. Our educational partners are there to support what we are doing, and we only work with educational partners whose products and services meet our standards and meet all the standards of science. I don't want to, I mean, people out there listen to me when I say this, because I'm at that point in my career now where it doesn't matter to me. Of course, it matters what people think. I don't need to prove myself anymore, and none of us in this group need to prove ourselves to anyone. But what we're doing here is a great thing, and it's coming from a place of we all care about dentistry. We've all worked our butts off to make this a better profession for everyone else that's out there. And so I love this. If people want to get upset with us and have a debate, I encourage them to come on the show and let's talk about this, because JB, that's what we did on the AGD floor. Kat,
Absolutely.
all three of us have worked really hard to make this an incredible profession. And so don't look at this as controversy. Look at this as this is a problem. And
Yeah.
let's talk about it. And if it takes us bringing it up to do that,
Well,
so
no,
be it.
we've hit a nerve when we get a cease and desist.
Well,
I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah,
I just
you know
texted
what?
Chad. I was like, let's go out
Call
in a
them for
blaze
what
of
they
glory.
are.
What'd you say?
Call them for what they are. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, I mean, we deal with it on a daily basis, and I'm noticing a lot more denials. However,
oh,
I notice that their pockets are getting a lot fuller. And you know what? Let's call it what it is.
yep.
I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, I'm done playing your game. We're fee for service, but I still deal with insurance.
Yeah.
And it as I say in every presentation I do, dental insurance sucks. It's a coupon plan.
Well, they're
You know,
welcome to come sit in my office and tell patients that to their face
they won't.
when stuff doesn't get covered.
It's
And
real
you
easy to
know,
be a keyboard warrior. I mean, how much more can
Yeah.
we prove to
right.
them? We've got somebody that's not a wet finger dentist that's telling us what we can and can't do,
Yep.
you know? Or maybe I shouldn't say what we can and can't do, what we can and can't get paid for.
Correct. Right.
And it's not even us that they're affecting the most. It's the
It,
people that are paying them the
it's the
premiums every month.
patients. They
Hey, and
exactly.
guys, are your boards are both still peer boards, right? They're still elected from
Yes.
your yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean
yeah.
the closest I mean we have one at large that can be selected from anywhere in the state, but other than that, one rep from each district and one at large, but all our peers and
Yeah.
elected. Yep.
And you have worked with the board pretty closely, Jeff, right?
Hmm.
Between your 37 lawsuits. I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. Jeff serves as an expert witness, so, like, he's there, and your interpretation or your viewpoint of the board, I mean, my experience has been I'm guilty until proven innocent, not the other way around, and you
Mhm.
would think that if it were a board of your peers and we were all glad handing and patting each other's backs all the time, it would be innocent until they absolutely prove that you are guilty. That's not been my experience. It's been like you're guilty because somebody said that you did it until we prove, in fact, that you didn't do it or had no malintent.
I have to
Do
say,
we
South
really wanna go
Carolina.
there? Because that's the judicial system in America.
No, I
Yeah.
know, absolutely,
Yeah.
even though it's not
I
supposed
mean,
to be.
But in
yeah.
South Carolina, I have to say that our board for the most part has been pretty good at keeping dentists innocent until a thorough review proves that something was done wrong.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and they'll remediate and do they will I don't wanna say this negative on the board because here I am trying to defend them and keep them in place. But they don't come in to your office saying, "Look, man, we got this claim on you. I'm sure it's nothing." No, they come in very professional and they're like, "We need all your records." And the burden of proof is now on our office to show that we did everything to the standard of care, that we took care of the patient, that if there was an adverse outcome, it was not for malintent or malpractice, like whatever it happens to be. It is not, there's no glad handing. There's no pats on the back. There's no, as far as I can tell, no favors or any of that stuff being handled. It is really being judged by your peers and experts in the field to say if you did this correctly or not. Would
Yeah.
you say
Yeah,
that's
but
true, Jeff?
I would. I will say so. I've had only in my whole career, I had one patient actually go to the board about care that they received in the practice, and my experience with that could not have been better.
That's
You know,
awesome.
the board called me. They said, listen, this complaint was filed. Do us a favor, just send us everything you have. We're going to set up a time. We're going to have a conversation. And, I want you to talk us through this whole thing. Had that one conversation, and literally a week later, it was like absolutely no wrongdoing on the part
Yeah.
of this dentist sent to the patient and, to me. So, I really have to say that I feel like at least South Carolina, the board has really worked very hard to have the backs of the dentists that it represents. But the issue that I think where a lot gets lost is in like a lot of these regulatory things that sometimes get out of hand. Because right now I have an issue with CE, which I have like 10 times the amount of CE that anyone
Right.
needs to have. I would challenge that I have as much as anybody who is licensed in South Carolina, and yet, because they went to a new regulatory system for monitoring that CE, that there were a lot of problems with. I'm not the only dentist that had
Yeah.
issues with this. And really that's where I see the issues are in these regulatory things that one hand just doesn't know what the other hand is doing. And quite honestly, that's not where dentists are great. I mean, that's not what we do. We don't
Yeah.
do management and that kind of thing. And so then it ends up falling on some of the employees of the board. And I think that's where you run into some of the big issues. But as far as their main role, which is to regulate licensure and to regulate the standard of care of the licensed dentist. I feel like South Carolina does a pretty darn good job. Yeah.
Let's go, South Carolina.
Let's go,
Well, oh,
Mango.
wait, hold on.
I got that going for me. Nice. All right.
Are we ready to bring on our guest, boys?
Yes. Let's do it. Who's going to do the intro? Chad?
I would love to do the intro. I don't have it in front of me, but I'm going to introduce Richard as I know him. So, Richard, I apologize. I do not have your intro, and Laura, I do not have yours, but I will tell you that the two people that are joining us tonight are two of the most amazing people in dentistry. I have met Laura on several occasions, and I know that she is still relatively new to the Mango team. If anybody hears of Mango, then they know Richard. Richard is like one big giant freaking mango that has worked to improve the dental profession. He and Kevin Tallman work very closely together, and they have a wonderful organization that brings, for lack of a better term, phone service, voice over internet protocol phone service to the dental community at a very outstanding price. And when they've done this, they've integrated with several practice management softwares. And one of my biggest things in dentistry is that you've got to be constantly innovating and constantly improving. And Mango is doing just that. And Richard is a big part of it. And them bringing Laura on board is a big part of that as well. And I'm sorry, I probably butchered that because I don't know where the hell you went to school or anything like that. I know you've got a daughter who's beautiful. I know you've got an awesome wife, Laura. I know you're not too terribly distantly married. You've got an awesome husband. I know y'all are great people. Y'all are just a couple of badasses, as we say in our world, and we're glad to have you here. So welcome, Richard and Laura. There you go. How's that for an intro?
Hey, wait, I don't need to do the golf clap.
Yeah. That's our in-studio audience, you know.
Can you believe
Laura,
how
did I
big our
butcher it too
studio
much?
audience is?
Did I butcher it too much, Laura?
No, you did great. More than I even
Okay.
thought you would know. So that's amazing.
See, there you go.
Oh, there you go. There you go. So, and you also, Laura, you have the front office thing that you've done for years. Is it Front Office Rocks?
Front Office Rocks. Yep.
There you go. Okay. See, I know what's up.
You do.
I'm down with the OPP.
You got it.
You know me.
So everyone, Laura is on as a special guest tonight with Mango Voice because Mango is actually introducing a new offering, and I had the opportunity to chat with Richard at Chicago Midwinter Dental Meeting, and if you go back and you can listen to that podcast from Chicago Midwinter, we had a great chat. And we talked about some of what's coming down the pike. And I was really excited about this because, you know, it's one thing to have phones that ring. It's another thing to have people that know what to do with the phones when they ring. So hopefully that's a good intro for you, Rich.
Okay, I just have to say, like, I think that's probably the best intro I've ever had. I mean, I feel like they're almost, some of the other ones are too scripted, and you know, like we've definitely got to know each other the last couple of years, and I love your guys' show, and I'm always, I love listening to the news too, like that Jennifer like always does, because I feel like I actually am learning more about dentistry from you guys than I do sometimes.
Yes,
She's
doing our
getting
job,
more
boys.
saucy too. I love it.
Well, yeah, you talk about the stuff that maybe some people don't want to get into, and I appreciate that. You know, like, I love it, and gosh, yeah, I mean, thanks again so much for, you know, having us. We love being a sponsor. Your guys' group is fantastic, and you guys are always so fun to interact with, and you're always providing great content, and you really are for the dentists first. I can tell. And Chad, sorry that this week has been a little bit funky. I know it's been
funky, dude.
It's been funky. That's just when you were describing it, I was like, just a funk, funks and milk.
It is a funk, man. Yeah.
Well, I hope you get out of it,
Thank you,
pretty
buddy.
soon.
Appreciate that.
And South Carolina, I gotta say, my grandparents are from South Carolina, so I love South Carolina. It's a great place. So, um, I think, yeah, we talk all the time about Mango Voice and phones because that's what we're most known for. But gosh, the last year and a half since everyone's got on the AI bandwagon and tried to figure out how do we incorporate AI in our practice? How do we best utilize it? What does it even mean for us? Mango's no stranger to that. We've definitely tried to implement and innovate as much AI into our solution as possible because I don't think anyone really realized how much data there is inside of these phone conversations until we started getting reporting on it and poking around on it, getting people like Laura listening to calls and coaching on it. And about 2 years ago, one of the big asks that people had of Mango is, can we start to figure out what's going on these calls? What's happening inside of our practice? And so, we started recording the calls, analyzing those calls, and giving feedback on those calls, which has just been monumental for dental practices to understand this is what patients' pain points are, or this is where my staff maybe is struggling, or this is where my staff is winning. This is what they're doing right, which is the other awesome side of it. And we can tag those calls and give you that feedback and give you that data. We give you nice summaries on every conversation. And the new objective that we've had to overcome with that is, okay, now that I know all this, how can I actually train my team on it? It's one thing because, maybe Chad and Jennifer and Jeff, you guys, maybe you do this really well. I don't know that every dentist has spent a lot of time. Maybe tell me, I don't know that any dental practice is actually training any dentist on how to do phone skills inside. Nope. I don't know that happens. So now we have this problem. Okay, I know this information about my team. How do I even have that conversation? How do I start that conversation? How do I go and train them? Who do I lean on for that? And more importantly, how do I actually role play even with them? Like, how do I train them? And do we just pretend that we're on phones together? And that's always so fun to try to do a game of telephone in the office. That would be awkward, right? But that's why it's not the only reason. Gosh, Laura has been a rock star. I got to say, the first time I met Laura, we were at ADOM, which is has always been a great meeting for office managers who are an integral part of the dental practice, right? And there was a line out the door to meet her. And I was like, wow, who is that person? And how do you get to know her? Because she's obviously done something phenomenal in dentistry. And, then once I got to know her and started to work with her, we realized how much overlap there is between what we do and what she does. And now she's really helped not only to train and help us roll out our AI agent, which makes sure you don't miss calls, but now we have a phone skills coaching program that Laura has helped to roll out, innovate, and is now live. And I'm not the person to speak to it, but oh my gosh, I went and did it. And let me just tell you, I'm not a great receptionist. I thought, okay, well, how hard can it be to answer a phone call and take someone's patient information down? And after I got off that first call, I realized I missed so many crucial questions. I missed so many points of emphasis where I could have been a little bit more make sure I use their name, just all these little checkpoints that I don't think of. And we have this new coaching program that covers all of it. And you interact with an AI, so you can do it at your own pace. You don't have to worry about when are they going to do this or how long is it going to take. And Laura has helped put all this together and has definitely accelerated Mango as not just a phone provider, but as a phone expert in the space. So, you guys, if you have any questions about that before I let Laura kind of take over and talk about it, feel free. But Laura, we owe so much to you for getting this up and running, though.
This is just an all-around let's pat each other's back thing. This is fantastic.
Actually,
Laura, we're patting your back right now.
We want to get out of the funk. We want to get out of the funk, Chad. So we're trying.
Yeah.
We need to get out of the funk. Yeah. Let's just group hug.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah, we need it. When we announced the partnership of me coming on with Mango, I got as many great texts from people I knew talking about how great Mango was. as they got talking about how great that what hire was to have me join the team. And that just feels good, right? When you're with the right, you just know that you found the right place. So I started teaching phone skills 15 years ago. I started Front Office Rocks because of the telephone, because I would have dentists come to me and say, I know my employees aren't answering the phone right, but I don't know what to tell them to do. And at that point, the only company out there that was teaching phone skills taught scripts. And I'm not a fan of scripts. Like, we know what it's like when you call a place and they're reading off a script. You can tell their attention's on the script and not you. But I do believe that people need to be trained. And I don't think we train well when we hire into the dental office. And the first place we put new employees is on the phones. Let's just see how they do. Let's put them on the phone. So we're paying all this money to make the phone ring. And then we've got untrained people answering the phones. Or maybe we've hired somebody who they've answered phones, but at a different office or at a different industry, and they're not trained for your practice. And so, flash forward now to where we are, Front Office Rocks became more of an encyclopedia is what I call it, like a whole books of just all the front office stuff you would need, customer service and treatment planning and all the things. But I still have my heart in the phones. And I still feel like there hasn't been one solution specifically around let's get the phones under control. So when Mango and I partnered, one part is the AI agent, because a lot of times we can't answer the phones. We're still missing phone calls. Nights and weekends, the phones aren't being answered. So the AI agent solves that. But I see these conversations online all the time. AI agent versus human, AI agent versus human. Well, I'll tell you, Margot, our AI agent, is better than a lot of humans answering the phones in dental offices right now. So we've got both. I would rather humans answer the phone, but they've got to be well-trained humans. And so that's what we have now with our phone coaching program. It's called Have Them at Hello. And what we did is we partnered with Catherine Eitel Belt, who is from Lion Speak. She's been teaching phone skills for 15, 20 years. We've taken her content, updated it to the latest thing about, all the things on the internet and all the stuff that's changed that was different from 10 years ago. And then we put together a 30-day coaching program. So it's an online phone skills program. We have a live coach who has open office hours, so people can come and meet with the coach. They can watch the lessons online. And then what Rich is talking about is, I thought, hey, if we have an AI agent that answers the phone, why can't we have AI patients that we role play with? So we have AI patients now. As the people learn their skills, they call and they practice with a patient. They practice with the patient who's trying to reschedule. They practice with the shopper patient. They practice with the emergency, because the difference between watching a video and actually practicing the skills, which is why we want people to role play, is night and day to somebody getting better on their skills. And I think as humans, we're going to get more used to talking to AI. We're going to get more used to using AI in our life, right? We're more willing to go to AI and ask it a dumb question that I wouldn't ask another human, but I'd go ask ChatGPT, right? So I think as humans, our new employees or our employees we're training on the phones are going to be more willing to practice their skills with AI, because it's not the office manager telling them they're doing it wrong, or the dentist who doesn't even know what they should be saying. So the program is all ready to go. It launched a week ago. We're super excited about it. It's all online. People can register for it. And it really does feel like, to me, the best phone company and two of the best phone trainers came together to deliver finally the solution on phones. And just that's our focus, and that's what we're here to help with.
So I think I'm gonna chime in real quick. I have a colleague, and every time I call their office, they go through this blah 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 script, and then at the end it says, "I can help." And finally I'd had enough of it, and I go, Can you really help me today? What are you going to help me with? I mean, that drove me nuts. And if he's listening tonight, which he probably isn't, but if he is, Scott, I told you I don't like that, and you still do it. But with that being said, are scripts really the problem, or is the problem in our profession that we don't hire the people that have the ability to modify the script to somebody else's liking? I mean, the thing is I don't have a problem with scripts. I have a problem with people that can't go off script.
Well, it kind of depends on how you train them. Honestly, I think there are a lot of dentists and offices who are like, this is your script, follow this. And
Yeah.
if they're told to do that, or I mean, I don't know if you guys remember this, but I got mystery called back in the day by a company who taught scripts. And I got like a 5 out of 10 because I didn't do what they say on the script, but I was being me, and that's real, right? So I think
That's
that
it.
there should be scripts. There should be outlines. Here's 5 different ways you can answer an insurance question. Here's how you can say, thanks for calling our practice, and make it yours. But the
Yep.
issue is, what I would say is that our people aren't confident on the phones. They don't understand that their job when the phone rings is to convert that patient into paying the bill, showing up, being a new patient, whatever it is. What they think they're doing is answering questions.
Yeah.
And
Less
they're
is
not,
more.
yeah, right. And they're not confident in their skills. So once somebody gets confident in their skills, they're going to be more confident to go off the script. They're going to get more confident to bring your humor. The way you answer the phone down south is going to be bless your heart. The way you say it in New York, it's going to be something different. That's good. We want you to show up as you, but as a confident version of you.
And I think it's the ability to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we need to really instill in people, is the ability to adapt, because there's a lot of times that it's just verbatim, and it can't be. It
Mm-hmm.
has to be, you have to adapt, and you have to adapt to that patient's personality as well.
Exactly. And that means listening skills, which is what we talk about. There's 4 steps in the process. And one of them is really just listening to what's the need of the patient. What is it? Because a lot of our team members go right to, when can you come in? What insurance do you have? What tooth hurts? Right? They're not listening. And then we're not converting that patient to become a new patient, because they're just going to the data, because they have these things that, because we're busy, right? We have a lot going on, and we want to get to the meat of the call, but they're missing the conversion part of it.
I love this. There's so much power in what you're saying. I think there's a lot of fear in the front desk right now that they're going to be replaced with AI.
Mm-hmm.
What you're actually talking about is elevating them, not to the office manager, but to a higher level position within the company, as opposed to a fact taker, which you're saying AI can replace. And I agree with you 100%. And it's got to be better than the press 1 for whatever, press 2 for whatever. And I immediately am always pressing 0. I'm like, I just need
agent.
human. I'm in
I
your
just wanna talk
algorithm
to
and I need
somebody.
out fast,
Yeah.
right? So
Uh-huh.
AI, I think, is going to surpass the capability of that stupid dial in
Yeah.
algorithm process that we built 2 decades ago. So that is where it will excel in these basic, simple questions, and take that off the plate of the front desk, so they can actually really focus on the things that you're talking about, Laura: conversion and patient reception, and getting them into the practice and feeling a part of the community, as opposed to menial tasks that are important but clutter the day and can exhaust your front desk team, because then they get off a phone call and see 37 voicemails sitting there waiting for them, that they're now going to have to call through and triage essentially for the day.
So here's kind of always have been the dilemma. Like as you sit at the front desk, and most dentists don't do this, so they don't realize, but like the patient standing in front of you, and the phone rings, and the hygienist is here, and then another phone rings. So what we put together and what we're building at Mango is an integrated system. So patients in front of me, what do? Do I answer the phone? Do I handle the patient? Well, I've always said you have to handle both, but now I don't have to, because I know that Margot can answer the call. And Margot is good at getting all the information I need. So she's kind of a clone of me. So I can trust that I can really focus on this patient. Let's say I'm on the phone and you walk up with a patient, you're ready to hand off to me. When I hang up, how often do I put my notes in? I know I mean to, I know I'm supposed to, but I got to go do the next thing. Well, now I can hang up and know that my notes are put in, and that I can focus on the next step, because the phone, the notes are put in. And now when I'm on a phone call with this coaching program, I can be better on that phone call, so that I can really convert more patients. Because to this day, I can't tell you how many marketing companies still say that we're blaming the marketing companies that the phone's not ringing, and the phone's ringing. It's that we're not converting the patients. So that's been an issue, and it still has been, until we actually invest in our team members and train them on this.
It's a great point. I think everyone, and I'm one of those offices that has always invested in training of the team. But I think where we kind of lose sight of what's happening is that, yes, you can offer that kind of training, But unless it's ongoing,
Mhm.
it so easily morphs into what's comfortable or what works for them in their situation. So, to make an analogy, in the back, because our area is clinical, right?
Right.
So in the back, I don't ever want to tell an assistant to memorize what's supposed to be on a tray for a procedure. I want them to know what procedure I'm doing, and I want them to understand why I want what's on that tray, right? Because, if it's AI at the front, certainly robots in the back can suction, spit, and do that. But an assistant is way more than that. I want them thinking through the process the way that I do, and I want them to understand the why. So I think the important part of the coaching that you're doing is to keep them understanding the goal of what that phone call is, not necessarily the exact wording that needs to
Right.
be said, but what is the goal of this particular phone call, and how do we move it to the next step of what's important for the business? So I love ongoing coaching, because you can get as many people in the office consulting as you want. As soon as they walk out the door, it turns into whatever is convenient for the team.
Right. Yep,
Mm.
for sure. And I actually, one of the things that I would love to see as we build this forward, when we get people into them, is almost like an alumni program too, because I've called, just like Rich said, I've called our AI patients, and I'm in a hurry and I'm doing something, and it gives you immediate feedback. And they'll say something like, well, it seems like you were in a hurry when you answer the phone. You should really slow down. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I kind of was, right? It's a
Yes.
good reminder, because we get in bad habits. And so we want to try to keep this going so that people have access to regularly remind themselves why it's important that we slow down and prioritize the phone.
So I have a question. The AI assistant is Margot.
Yes.
Has anybody ever gotten into an argument with Margot and said, I don't know, Margot?
Oh,
Christmas
Or
vacation.
maybe she asked, why is the carpet all wet, Todd?
Christmas vacation. I had you.
Jeff knew it. JB, are you
I
lost on
don't
that
know,
one?
Margot.
Rich knew. I could tell Rich was laughing.
Rich knew right when I said it.
yeah.
I totally want to get into an argument with Margot.
Well, you are welcome to try. She has been
Yeah.
trained not to do that. So
Yeah.
She's too nice. She's too nice. She is like as pleasant at 8 a.m. as she is at 5 p.m. And she won't like dip out early at 4:59 when the phone's ringing. So
She
like,
must have a lot of Prozac.
yeah, she
Yeah.
doesn't come to work hungover or tired.
Yeah.
She wasn't up all night with her kids.
Never
Or
She-
call
calls out.
out.
yeah,
She
she's
never
always
calls out sick. She never,
Yeah.
she doesn't miss a day. She doesn't. And I know that can probably sound a little scary to like team members, but what we found is it actually instills a lot of confidence into a lot of the team members, that knowing that they have an AI agent, that because it's a lot of pressure. Like if you're missing calls and the team comes back to you, like doctor comes back to you and says, hey, why are we missing calls? Now they can confidently say, well, Margot got it and I'm following up with the patient and we're good. And I think to your point, like Jeff, you even talked about investing in your team. I think that, even offering phone skills, new products like this, team members, I know in the past there's been like this change management scare. Like you guys have probably seen this. You went to a trade show, you came back and the team was like, what are you going to try to like roll out into the practice now? And we're seeing the opposite now, where people are a little more interested in, hey, do we have some AI tools that we're like rolling out? Do we have some new training to help us be better? Because people love to feel invested in. And, when you're saying, hey, I want to spend some time on you and get you better, they're definitely more likely to stick around. Because I haven't been in dentistry as long as you guys have.
As long as Jeff.
What are you trying to say?
It's always as long as Jeff.
I've only been in like 6 years, so that's just.
Oh my gosh, Jeff!
I actually
You
have
was
a
born
question.
when you graduated from dental school.
I have a question for the panel, though. We hear so much about AI and how it's affecting all areas of life, right? From my perspective, and I just like to have a poll of everybody, I think that AI, by and large, is a huge benefit to dentistry. I know it's detrimental to other professions, and I get that. But how do you all feel that AI is to dentistry? I think it's necessary. I mean, I truly, truly, truly believe that in so many aspects. But I'm open to debate if anybody has any other,
Well,
you
I'm going
know.
to just jump in. I'm on your side and I teach this, I speak on this. In fact, I'm speaking on Friday on this subject. I think that as an industry, we have been addicted to always being busy. We're always busy. Everyone's busy. The system's busy. Front office busy. We're all busy, right? And we don't know what efficient is. We really don't know. We know how to get through procedures and follow a schedule, but we don't know how to have it. Has anybody ever left the day going, I've done everything on my plate? Never, right? So I
No.
do think that AI for us, especially in the front, like I think it's going to be standard care for radiographs and for other things, but for the front, I think what it's going to do is it's going to allow the humans to be more human because the busy work's going to be taken care of by AI. Now, I think there's a fear of the humans, not just that they're losing their jobs, but also some of our humans don't like the human side of things. They'd rather hide behind insurance claims. They'd rather hide behind computer screens. So to be more compassionate and have more time with the patients, I think there's going to need to be an investment there too of really helping our humans be better at sitting down with the patient and presenting treatment. But we're going to have more opportunities. So I'm 100% for it.
Well,
Hence my title is VP of AI. So
Yeah, there you go.
yeah. Well, and remember, we three can tell you it's actually very difficult to find people to work. And I genuinely worry about burning out the good ones that I have because I can't find or afford one of the two. It depends on the day of the week and what's happening, more help or support for them because profit margins are being squeezed in different areas of our business and P&L. And also, you put on an ad and you have to sift through, if you get applications, if you're lucky enough to even get applications, you have to sift through a bunch of junk to maybe find one qualified person and then, trying to get somebody to meld into a team and all that stuff. Like in my mind, AI becomes for me in my practice that third front desk person that I really need. But I'm not sure if I can fully afford a full-time person. And I don't know how they would meld with the people that I like who are working for me. And I also don't want to burn out those who are showing up every day and doing their jobs. Like I want to lift them up and support them. I don't want to keep adding more work, which is what I feel like happens a lot because we can't find good support for them.
Right. Agreed. Yeah.
My opinion on AI is that I think it is probably the coolest thing that has come along because I think AI has created an opportunity for the great to be greater. So for people who really, are so devoted and to their profession, whatever it is. And there are those people in the office, front desk assistants, hygienists. I'm not just talking about dentists, but I think when you're able to take some of the tasks away that are just burdening people for a time, then it allows the people who really want to be great to do greater things. So I've always viewed AI that way. Does it scare me a little bit because of the unknown factor? Of course. But I don't think it's ever replacing humans. I think it's always going to be there as a support system to make the humans that are really good at what they do better.
Rich?
I absolutely love AI. And I will tell you from maybe a different perspective, like how I'm using it. So, I mean, like you guys, I have a team of people that help us. I oversee at Mango kind of the marketing and the lead generation side of things. And I have data living in a CRM, Salesforce. I have it in marketing CRM. I have it in Sheets. I have it from phone data. And AI in the last 4 or 5 months has helped me consolidate all that data. And I have gotten way cleaner and more accurate reports than I've ever had in my life because of AI. And the one-on-one conversations I have with my team every week have been the best ever because I have better data to report on. And that's where all of the real benefits come from AI, I think, is having more accurate knowledge. So I can actually have these conversations. Oh, hey, like you did well here, but we were low here. Can we talk about that? Where I might have missed that a year ago because I wasn't able to see all of my data in one place. And that's really what, from in the dental practice, the problem that Mango is really trying to solve is like, what's actually happening on these phone conversations and how can you get the best out of your people? And you don't have to spend time sifting through 400 calls and saying, where did we miss? It's literally going to tell you like, hey, here's where an area you can like focus on and let's get them some training right here. I mean, that conversation is going to go way better than you trying to like say, hey, how is everyone doing in the team when you do a morning huddle? And, you're going to have some accurate data points to refer to. And to what we were talking about with Jennifer earlier too, is like, I think as we see this investment in people too, through the use of AI, you'll get the best out of them. And that's been my experience in the last 4 or 5 months. So I'm excited about what we're going to do in the next year as well.
Rich, don't you agree though that so I've always said that the people who fear accountability are not the right employees in the first place.
Yeah.
And so if you can create consistency in accountability, right? And attract the people that are good with that because they know there's going to be that consistency in making sure that we're doing things to the best of our ability. I think that's kind of the perfect scenario, right? For maximizing the productivity of an office.
I certainly agree with that. I mean, even at Mango, we have kind of an ideology here, a philosophy that if you have to micromanage people, you have the wrong person.
Right.
So, I mean, like they should know accountability is going to be high and here's the data and let's work on that and just get better from that data. And so, I mean, we want to work. I mean, we all want to work with people that want to grow and be better. And I think that AI can actually help us identify those people quicker and help us train them better. So I think the future is going to be awesome with what we can do with AI. I'm not scared of it because so far I've had nothing but good experiences with it. Now, I haven't had a robot actually do like a suction.
I was going to say.
I don't know what that's gonna be like so far I've only had people do cleanings on me.
Yeah.
I would add to that just one other thought too, is when you're talking about accountability is also the importance of training. And I've been doing this for so long in our industry that if you actually start somebody training from the beginning and you give them, they're hungry when they start for you. They want to learn. And think about how we teach at the dental office. I mean, it's Susie said, do it this way. Bobby said to do it this way. No, you're doing it wrong. No. And then you ask, why are you doing this? They're like, I don't know. Susie told me to do it that way. If they don't know the purpose behind what they're doing, they're just going to be doing tasks. And then dentists wonder, they ask me all the time, how long does it take to train someone? Well, have you been training them or did you just throw them to the wolves, right? So if you start from the beginning and give the employees the ability to learn, and with this training specifically, they don't have a consultant standing over them that they're just doing what's supposed to be right and then they leave. They're actually learning, right? And they're learning new skills and they don't feel like they're being watched. And then when the consultant leaves, right? And there's a lot of consultants who they don't want to come in and teach phone skills. Like they're here to do bigger things. Like let's talk about case acceptance, let's talk about culture, right? So there's just kind of changing the way we go at things of hiring the right people, making them accountable, giving them the resources they need to be successful, and then holding them accountable to that will really, steamroll this going in the right direction.
Totally agree.
I think, the other piece of this is that, let's face it, we as dentists, and I will speak for myself, if any of you all want to agree, that's okay. But I know that as dentists, we tend to say, okay, here is your responsibility. Here is what I am holding you accountable for. But then maybe we don't look back as often as we should. Yep. And I think many of us are guilty of that because we wear so many hats in a dental practice as the owner and the provider and the accountant and all of these things and the HR department and all these other things that it's really impossible for us personally to provide that accountability. So being able to outsource that, I think, is just an amazing thing.
And with our phone coaching program, you get a weekly report. So if you have more than one student in this program, you'll get a weekly report of their progress. So, we've got, that we teach them how to, like, you need to do these classes, you do role play, and then the doctor gets, or whoever signs up, gets a weekly report to make sure that it's getting done. So you can hold them accountable.
Okay, I need to ask the technical questions. Do you have to be a customer of Mango to take advantage of the program?
You do not.
Will there be some opportunities maybe for our community to find a pathway through Mango, maybe a dinky deal or something that we could pass along over the next couple of weeks to help encourage that? What's happening and how does this whole partnership sort of operate? Because I'm sure some people are like, well, I'm not a customer of Mango. Do I need to become a customer of Mango in order to take advantage of all this?
Well, they should be.
I know they should. That's why I want clarity and transparency.
You don't have to be, but I'll let Rich take it from here.
Well, when you said technical questions, I thought you were going to ask me how do we code like Mango.
Yeah, tell me how you code your phones and your AI.
AI codes the AI.
You use Claude?
Yeah, you just use Claude to create it, like everyone else.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. I think that the exciting thing about this is like you don't have to have Mango to do the phone coaching skills program. So huge benefit there. Certainly, if you're using Mango, I would totally take advantage of the phone coaching skills course. And yeah, I think we could definitely have like a Dinks deal for sure. And I mean, I would love it if you guys tested it out. Actually, I would love to get your guys' feedback on it. So we'll let you guys use it for free.
I'm a Mango customer, just letting you know.
You're a Mango customer.
And I'll also put it out there. We priced it at a price point. I mean, you can go to the website right now and sign up. It's $299 a student. So $299. Like Kevin was adamant about making sure that this was not.
That's one patient conversion.
Yeah.
That is, and actually you've made money if you convert one patient that calls your office.
If you sign up more than one person, so you sign up 2 or 3, it goes down. It's $249, $229, $199. Like it was meant to be, buy it, train them, start changing what's happening on your phones. So, but I'm sure we could do a deal. That's Richard's.
We're going to put it all out there. And I want, when people are listening, because they also listen to the podcast afterwards, if they're thinking about becoming a customer of Mango, there's the pathway towards that and they can get more information on the coaching. If they're not 100% sure, or they're already in some type of contract, but they still see the value in the AI and this is a partnership and they want to explore the training opportunities, because I'm sure that also appeals to some percentage of our listeners that are in other services or whatever. Like I want to make sure it's clear, how do they take advantage of all this? Because I know that there's going to be interest and desire to want to get access to it.
100%. So yeah, I mean, if any of the Dinks members out there that sign up for Mango Voice as an AI voice service, we will give one free seat for the
Let's go
program. Yep. So
can we get a little deeper? Can we go? Oh,
you want to go deeper?
Fantastic. Thank you.
Put that in the chat. Make sure that goes in the chat.
I mean, the beauty of that is like the doctor or office manager, whoever would be in charge of that, can test it out for themselves first to see what the real benefit of this here is, and then they can roll it out to their team.
And I just have to say, yesterday we had an office manager do this, signed up, and 24 hours later, she came back and signed up 3 of her employees. In 24 hours went, this is what we need. So I'm 100% behind that, because once they get in there, they'll see it works.
We did a demo with a 50 location DSO today, and they were very interested in Mango as a whole for services, but their entire call center team wanted the phone coaching skills program. That was what piqued their interest more than anything, because they constantly have turnover on their team there, and and it's not necessarily bad turnover. They said just people move on, they find different jobs, and like to your point, and they're like, how do we keep up on the training of them? And they said, can we we want to get this rolled out to all of our team members that are taking calls, because keeping up with the training of them is next to impossible. So
yeah,
I mean, this is a solution they didn't even know existed, and now they have it. So
that's awesome. And you're also dependent oftentimes on OMs to do the training, which they probably also could use a lot of training and development. So many of them are younger in the jobs too, or like growing and developing their own, and then their ability to come in and teach other people. Laura, exactly what you said was, well, this is how I've always done it. It's not, necessarily training, but that is probably 90% of what happens.
Well, I'll tell you that from my years of experience with Front Office Rocks, that just because somebody's good at something in your team doesn't make them a good trainer. Being a trainer is something very different.
Absolutely.
And then this is a skill that people need to internalize, because we get told to do something, we just follow the steps. But if they can internalize it and realize, like you were starting with, like, why is this important? How important is the phones? What do I need to do this? They need to watch the videos themselves. They don't need someone telling them. They need to practice the skills. And what this will do is actually free up the office manager to be able to do something else while this person is watching the videos, and then come to the office manager and say, okay, for our practice, how do you want these questions handled or whatever, right? It's going to save many hours of the OM's time.
Love it. Thank y'all for being on.
Yeah, thank you all very much. You guys are both amazing, and just really appreciate what Mango does. Appreciate you all always constantly innovating and incorporating AI into your processes. Thank you.
Is anyone wearing Air Jordans, by the way?
Rich?
I'm not wearing Air Jordans tonight, but I wore them yesterday.
Okay.
It's
the Mango one, please.
Yeah.
I know. I want some ones with mangoes on it. Some orange. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for anyone out there, I will tell you, I said this earlier when I was speaking that, as far as Dentists in the Know goes, we don't just partner with anybody. We only work with companies that several of us have used and can stand behind, because all three of us are on the podium. We don't ever want to stand behind something that will flop. I can tell you, no one that ever comes on this show is offering anything that we have not tried, used, or can't speak to in some way. These are amazing people. It's an amazing product, and they are constantly innovating. And so we are very proud to have you all as educational sponsors. We're proud to have you as friends, and can't wait to see what's coming next.
Well, I'm just excited to be in the Dentist in the Know now. I had to be on the Mango team to get in here, so I'm really happy to be here.
Hey, you're in the know.
I'm in the know now.
Did she come in back door? Is that what she's saying?
She's just been hard to wrestle, Jeff. She's been hard to wrestle.
Right.
Hey, as we close tonight, there was something that came up tonight. There were a couple things that came up tonight that I just want to bring to mind. The first is that several people hit on my favorite aspect of life, and that is why. Why do we do what we do? And I think that's really, really important. But the other thing is that we have to realize that AI is more so a stimulant to us than a replacement. AI has a really great way of stirring creative thinking and creative thought processes, if you will. But AI should be used to stimulate rather than replace what we do on a daily basis. And through stimulation, it actually could replace what we do on a daily basis. But it's a thought generator. It's a wonderful thought generator, and it's also wonderful addition in dentistry, and I think that was unanimous across the board. So thank you to Laura and Richard. Thank you to Mango, and I'm going to throw out there Kevin for doing what you've done so gratefully with Mango, and supporting our practices and incorporating AI to benefit rather than degrade our practices. So thank you all very much. Glad to have you, and hopefully we'll see you all again down the road.
Have a great night.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.